Just a little bit. We're going next week in Australia. What is it?
Which has an air shock and it was about 20 kilos too long for me. So I was rounding it out.
Good evening and welcome to midweek football. It's Wednesday night action live from Stryda Park. Monaro Panthers against Canberra Croatia. 3 versus 1, a summit meeting which might go some way to deciding which one of these sides will be league champions at the end of the year. 5 points separate them in favour of the Red Machine, but it's been 4 days since the cup final and we will see how they will react to that. My name's Russ Gibbs. Steve Forshaw is with me. Steve, 4 days ago. Cup final, wasn't it? But here we are again on a freezing cold night at Stryda Park. Looking forward to this big game.
And yeah, it is a big game, isn't it? I mean, Monaro probably have the greater need tonight because to go 8 points behind Canberra Croatia, even at this stage of the season, leaves them with a very, very big hill to climb. But it's a good time to be playing them because they've just come off 120 minutes where they've had an intense game against Queanbeyan City in one of the better cup finals that we've seen in Canberra in recent times. Very, very entertaining game. So how they back up is going to have a lot to do with where the result goes. Monaro in the midst of some transfer window turmoil.
Which I'm going to get to in just a moment. Just go before do talk about that. Cup final on the weekend, from a purist perspective, we really enjoyed it. I spoke to these Canberra Croatia lads when they came in tonight, and the general consensus of opinion was they played appallingly and they weren't happy with their performance. However, there was a lot of credit to the way Queanbeyan City didn't allow them to play. So. There's a lot more that they could have done on the weekend, but you know, good sides find a way, and they found a way even though it took them 120 minutes, literally 120 minutes, because that was when Max Green won the game.
Yes, that's right. And from a purist point of view, it probably wasn't a football feast, but the excitement, the fact that Canberra Croatia were expected to win win comfortably, and the fact that Queanbeyan City gave such a really good account of themselves, it made for a really good watch. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Last time we were at this venue, we watched Monaro Panthers rip us apart Gungahlin United with a team that at various stages included Luca McCall, Ben Silk and Michael Piccolo. Less than fortnight later, we're back again, and all three of them have departed. Luca McCall to Canberra Juventus, Ben Silk to Tigers FC, and Michael Piccolo surprising everyone with an overnight shift from Monaro Panthers to Canberra Croatia, which has massively surprised the football community, considering he had made the move the other way only 6 months ago or whatever that might have been. So Monaro don't lose anything with that. They brought in Fakedi Manda from O'Connor Knights. We will see his debut tonight. He will start. I'll bring you the lineups in a moment. But missing those 3 players that you had part of your team about a fortnight ago, not ideal.
No way in the world can you consider it to be ideal. They, fortunately from Monaro, they do have a lot of depth and they'll be able to handle those misses. Plus the fact, as you allude to, the Manda comes into the team and he's a quality replacement for them. But where you've been working for that 4 or 5 month period to get the team to settle, to get into a rhythm, that's interrupted when you have 2 or 3 first grade squad move on all at once. So it is a challenge for the coaching staff of Monaro, but I think it's one they'll be able to handle.
Canberra Croatia might be a surprise to many people. This will be the last game for their goalkeeper, Sam Brown. He's moving into state for work up to Sydney, so we won't see Sam Brown play an NPL game for Canberra Croatia after tonight. What sort of legacy will he leave? 164 appearances. I understand they're going to keep him registered just in case, but 164 appearances for the team. The last line of defence, he's there warming up in the goal over there. Where has he gone?
No, he's just walked off.
He's just walked off. He's just walked off. Missed him. But yeah, he's. What's he going to leave behind with Canberra Croatia?
Well, there will be a Sam Brown-shaped hole at the back of their defence because he has been an absolute stalwart for Canberra Croatia over a long period of time. Certainly in the top 2 or 3 goalkeepers in Canberra ever since he cracked in the first grade. He's been somebody that Canberra Croatia have known that they could rely on to actually give a consistent performance week in, week out.
And if Michael can pick out the young gentleman in blue, the goalkeeper down there, that is Jampel Dorji, a Bhutanese international at age grade level, who will be tasked along with Jason Matesha in the purple just behind him coming off with replacing Sam Brown in the Canberra Croatia lineup. This young lad I spoke to before, he had one game with Balcony United, I believe, last year in a pre-season friendly in Wollongong. They couldn't sign him. Their loss, Canberra Croatia's gain.
Yeah, and he, I know that the people at Belconnen that had very little to do with him speak very highly of him, so I think he'll come in and put some pressure in terms of competition on Jason Mateja, who, like Sam Brown, has been a very loyal servant to Canberra Croatia.
I understand Dylan Parach-Cullen from Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper has been training with Fabio, the goalkeeping coach at Canberra Croatia in the off-season, keeping there because his brother, obviously Jack, plays for this club. He tells us he's very, very good. So we'll wait and see what he does when he gets his debut, whenever that may be. It might be next week. It might be a few weeks down the track. Jason Mateja's probably got dibs on the jersey, I would imagine. Well,
I should imagine that it would be very unfortunate if he wasn't given at least his chance. He's been at Canberra Croatia for a long, long time and has never let them down when he's been asked to fill in for Sam Brown. But the young goalkeeper that you were talking about previously got half a game in the 23s and didn't have a lot to do. I mean, he did concede 2 goals, but none of them could be put down to his goalkeeping. But by and large, Canberra Croatia will be going into the game looking to do the right thing before Sam Brown departs.
South Jerrabomber is the venue for the other game tonight, Queanbeyan City against Tuggeranong United, which will kick off momentarily. Debuts there as well. Harrison Palic making a debut for Queanbeyan City, having switched from O'Connor Knights. Cassidy Schlesinger making a debut for Tuggeranong United, having switched from Blacktown City Spartans, where he's playing under-20 football. You can watch that one on YouTube. If you're trying to watch Gungahlin United versus O'Connor Knights, well, unlucky. The match has been postponed, that and the 23s. There was an issue with the line marking there at Gungahlin Enclosed Oval, not for the first time this season, unfortunately, but that game will be played at a later date, which probably means we've got more eyes on this one, which will be entertaining, no doubt. Let's have a look at these lineups then, Steve, starting with Monaro Panthers, who had to make that late change with the withdrawal of Michael Piccolo, the transfer to Croatia. Heath Illich starts in goal. 3 at the back, we think, in Max Melik, Dylan Deep-Jones and Fernando. Adam Di Franceschi ruled out for quite a while with an ACL injury sustained in training. We wish him the very best. He's round here with a big, what do they call, brace on his leg. Midfield, we'll see Zach McLaren, Ryan Straub as the holding positions. Out wide for Kenny Mandit and Christian Kreskus. Robert Kachenko, I believe, will be the central midfield role at the top of that diamond triangle, if you like. Stephen Dominici and Daniel Barach will run the front channels. On the bench, Marco Gaia. A return for Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton, potentially into first grade after a long absentee. Broke his leg, obviously, in the grand final a year or so ago. He's been coming back through the 23s. Might get his chance today. Same for Callum Smith, who's been out for a long time as well. Former Canberra Olympic midfielder. He's on the bench as well. Jack Elwood and Gary Memitage. Even with the absence of those players that we mentioned, Steve, it's formidable.
Oh, it's a good lineup. I mean, we mentioned it in passing that they do have a lot of depth, and they're calling on that depth tonight. Fortunately for them, players coming back from injury and the new signing in Manda have helped them out a little bit, but it's about how they gel and how quickly they come together to form that formidable unit that Monaro Panthers want to be.
What about the Cup winners? Well, they make 4 changes from the side that started the Cup final victory over Queanbeyan City and will go on to represent Canberra in the round of 32. Sam Brown, as I mentioned, plays his final game in Canberra Croatia colours in goal. There's 4 at the back. David Cecilia comes in at right back. Riley Souza continues at left back. He's been in exceptional form this season. Jack Parach, Cullen and Matt Gerbischer are the central defensive partners. Parach, Cullen selected in place of Daniel Subasic today. The midfield is the same as started the Cup final. Ryan Keir, Daniel Colpataldo and Keegan Vucetic. Vucetic having been taken off at half-time. Up top, Nick Pradagina, who suffered the same fate in the final, will be joined by 2 substitutes who made a difference in the Cup final. Daniel Sparrow down the middle, Marko Jadric on the left. The bench will see the Subasic brothers, Daniel and Nicholas, alongside Tony Spaseski, Jason Mateja, the goalkeeper, and Max Green, who scored the 2 goals that took the trophy to Deakin Stadium. Changes for Dina Greenwich, unsurprising considering the effort they had to put in.
I think it was inevitable that there would be some changes. The inclusion of Jadric and Sparrow after half a game plus the extra time is, I think, probably a no-brainer. They would have to come in given the fatigue that might be part of a problem. But I think the loss of Thomas James He'll be missed. I mean, he's been in such good form during the season. But I think they've got a good side. They've been proven to be the benchmark this season.
I understand Thomas James has a tight hamstring, which is why he's not playing this evening. Sorry, that's the cutest little puppy. And then a fluffy little dog that just walked in. Just been distracted. Bit of a dog person myself. Thomas James not here. So we're going to have a minute's silence before kick-off as well. Unfortunately, Monaro Panthers lost an Inter Monaro former player from the 1976-80s, Flavio De Pauli, a committee member and volunteer as well. And we will remember his life. Flavio De Pauli, a former Inter Monaro player from the 1976 to the mid-80s. Committee member and volunteer at this football club as well, has passed away on Monday at the age of 73. We send our condolences to the friends and family. And Steve, I understand this one's hit you for 6 as well.
Yeah, it has indeed. I knew Flav through work and through football. And I echo those sentiments. All the deepest sympathies and condolences to his family. We've lost one of nature's gentlemen. He was truly a good bloke to know and a good bloke to be around. And we will chat with Walter Valeri just before the start of the second half a bit more about the legacy that Flavio De Pauli left as a player and as a person as well. We will bring that to you just before the start of the second half. If you recognise the referee today, what's unsurprising? Gareth Biggs. He's the match official who is in charge of the cup final. Jack Parach, Cullen's friend, for not giving him a penalty. Halfway through that one. He's assisted by Harold Spanner and young Adam Borg, who is on the near side as well. So another game for Gareth Biggs, and interesting that he's on this one as well by the quirk of the referees committee. But like I said, Jack Parach Cullen thought he should have got a penalty on the weekend. I spoke to Gareth Biggs. He said to me that they thought it was a coming together. That's fair enough from where he was. In the end, it didn't make an awful lot of difference, but one of those opinions defining incidents. But had it been given at the time, we probably wouldn't have gone to extra time. But the referee was in a good position to make the decision.
Sparrow finds Cole Bataldo. First chance to spring an attack for Canberra Croatia. Pradajina scoops out of play.
Really important from an aero point of view, not least because they would drop 8 points behind, but they've played Canberra Croatia twice already, conceded 7 goals and haven't scored. So they really need to sort of lay down a marker tonight against this changed Canberra Croatia outfit.
Well, some stats for you. This is the 29th time they will meet in the NPL. Canberra Croatia have won 22. Panthers have won 3, and there's been 3 draws up to now. Panthers have only ever won 1 home match against Croatia in their history. They've only taken 4 points from a possible 42 available at this venue. I don't expect this one, Steve, to finish 0-0. In all competitions, there's been 35 games between these two sides, and there's been 145 goals. Canberra Croatia having scored over a century, 105 of them.
I mean, obviously, they're in here.
Pradajina sending it across, blocked by Fernando.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the early success against Monaro by Canberra Croatia was against a much weaker Monaro side. But
well, as you alluded to, they got 7 in 2 games against them this year already.
Yeah, they have.
I'll give you another stat in a moment, which is quite remarkable. As the ball goes out of play. 5 home games in the NPL this year. Monaro have scored 26 times. In 3 away games, they've scored 3.
Incredible, isn't
it? You talk about a fortress. Their results here have been something ridiculous. They've beaten Tigers by 5 goals to 2. They beat Tuggeranong United 6-1, O'Connor 5-0, Ugali 3-0, and the 7-0 hammering of Gungahlin. Fair to say they like playing here, and they like playing under the lights here. When they played Ugali and won 3-0, it was daytime.
Well, that's obviously something to do with the lights.
Ryan Keir under pressure from McLaren. Daniel Balac against his former clubs won it and goes for goal as well, and it's not far away. Flashed over the crossbar.
Yeah, great work from Barach and a great shot at the end. Just catching Ryan Keir in possession and taking full advantage of it. And Canberra Croatia, having made a bright start, might have been on the end of a sucker punch on the counter-attack.
The leading goal scorer in the competition with 9, Daniel Barach. Here's Dylan Deep-Jones restored to the team in central defence. Straub. One of the beneficiaries, perhaps, of the midfield departures, although he has been playing a lot this season, Ryan Straub. He's made 7 starts of the 9, and he's been one of the players. And maybe that's why there's been departures, because he has been excellent this season and they haven't been able to shift him.
I think that's true. I mean, I know that the staff at Monaro have been really pleased with the way Straub has come along. But perhaps McLaren, who's been in and out of the side, has been the major beneficiary of the departures.
Yeah, 6 starts, 3 off the bench for him as well. They have rotated the midfield a bit.
Yeah.
They seem to have found a reasonable solution to the problem in there. And it'd be interesting to see where Robert Kachenko is taking up a position. It does look like he's going to be a little bit more central than usual. And for Kenny Manda, well, it'd be interesting to see how he goes in what might be the right wing-back role.
Yeah, it's, with them playing a back 3, there isn't a lot of emphasis on the 2 wide midfielders to get up and down the touchline. And Manda's strengths aren't necessarily his defensive role, but he's being asked to do something for his new club, and I'm sure he'll attack it with some enthusiasm.
Former O'Connor Knights player, of course. There's been an exodus from O'Connor Knights over the last fortnights. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu, much vaunted summer signing, has switched to Tigers FC. How bright is that kid's coat, mate? Just blinded me, that young man's coat down there. Looks like luminous, isn't it?
I can't even see it. Oh, there it is down there.
Yeah, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu's transfer. He might be in line for a debut on the weekends.
Makes Tigers that much stronger, doesn't it?
Well, Ben Basser-Silk there as well.
Some doubts over Popovic's fitness.
I understand he might be heading overseas at some stage as well, potentially. Dominici Kreskas, he's had a good season. Not a bad ball for Manda. First chance for him to try and create something in his new colours. Barach. Dominici helps it on Kachenko. We've seen him hit them from there before. Chose not to.
Looks like he is playing wider on the left.
Well, a moment ago he was wide on the right, so who knows what's going on. I think he's just filled in for Kreskas for a minute. We'll keep an eye on that, though. Straub switching to Kachenko with the captain's armbands. Kills it beautifully as well. Max Melik, they'll be glad to see him back. There was some talk that he might miss a large chunk of the season.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he would have been a really big miss considering what else has gone on.
Here he is for Straub. Deep-Jones. They'll miss Di Franceschi, but they've got decent replacements defensively. Deep-Jones has been a really good acquisition for them over the last couple of years. Here's Dominici. Space to work and lift it towards the far post where Robert Kachenko drifted.
Yeah, he's gone back to the right-hand side. I think you're right, Russ. I think he's going to take up a more central position and then drift into those wider areas as required.
7 clean sheets in their last dozen games for the men in red, which is a decent return. I'm sure you'll agree.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. I mean, you talked about Monaro's goal-scoring record. The Canberra Croatia team can put it away as well.
I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Visitic. We're going to send it down the line.
Yeah, looking for Chadwick, asking him a bit too much.
It was a good game when he came on, Marko Jadric, in the weekend. Created that goal for Max Green, the first.
I think he and Sparrow both made a significant difference when they came on. It was the first half, you had to give it to Queanbeyan City because, they applied pressure, they came out of the blocks firing, but the second half, it was a different Canberra Croatia.
There's a problem here in the middle of the park.
Could do without it.
I think it might be Dylan Deep-Jones. I'm not sure what happened to him because I was checking on.
I think it looks like it might be a bit of a strain.
It's too early for cramp. He's not that unfit.
No, it's not.
We've only played what, 8 minutes.
Might be chilblains with the weather.
Well, this is not surprising sometimes, Steve, when you've got a player that's come off of a day at work, freezing cold night as well, maybe hasn't warmed up 100% or is just was carrying something. But his evening is curtailed as early as the 8th minute, and that'll be really frustrating for Dylan Deep-Jones. 4 games he started this season, 4 off the bench as well.
It doesn't look like
Doesn't look like he wants to go off, does he? I think the person who's supposed to come on isn't ready.
They're not exactly storming back to the bench to actually take his place.
Well, Marco Geyer is the obvious replacement
You would
from the
think so.
defensive cohort that's down there, and that would just shift Max Melik perhaps into a central role.
Maybe, but it certainly gives them balance because Geyer, who is on now, he plays down the left, so it's sort of a better balanced 3, if you like.
When he comes on to that left-hand side, Fernando has popped into the central defensive role.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. He is a jack of all trades, Fernando. He can play in any number of positions, so central defence ain't going to bother him.
Going to have some work to do, Marko Jadric, and that's disappointing for Dylan Deep-Jones.
Yeah, he would have been looking forward to the game. I mean, of course, Monaro didn't have a game on the weekend, so they'd have been busting to get on the park and play. Dylan Deep-Jones, no exception, but his game's over for tonight. Hope it's not too serious and he's not out for a lengthy period.
Fingers crossed. Like I say, cold night as well, and just a little, those tweaks can be magnified, can't they?
Yeah.
Here's Fakedi Manda. Ball into the penalty area. Matt Gerbischer was clattered by Daniel Barac.
That was a bit late.
2 former sparring partners going up against each other.
Oh, well, Barac and Dominici have recently been at Canberra, Croatia, so they'll know each other well. Gerbischer et al.
There's a few players playing against clubs that the colours they wore tonight. Daniel Colbertaldo, many might not remember how to spell Panthers colours.
Yep.
Kreskus has got half a yard here on Cecilia, who I understand might be going overseas himself at some stage.
Goodness gracious me, is there anybody going to be left?
Me and you, my friends.
I'm not playing, so you're going to be busy.
I wouldn't have lasted the 8 minutes that Dylan Deep-Jones lasted these days, my friend.
Yeah, I'd have been coming on for you.
Yeah. You've had to do 82 minutes.
No.
Someone was sub for you after 16.
That's it.
Adam Di Franceschi said now he's injured. ACL injury, unfortunately for him. He can join us in the commentary box. He said we might get more messages then from people younger.
Well, everybody's younger.
Yeah, I was going to say a bit harsh, but thanks, Adam. He can play to the younger demographic.
Oh, right.
Apparently. I was like, okay. We could get him on, see if he talks a good game.
Nicky Edrich said the same thing.
Well, he talks a good game.
He talks a good. He'd like to. He said he'd like to talk a good game. Come on and join you in a commentary.
Do you know what, mate? We should start this podcast up. I've been talking about for ages and get those players on as guests and shout on here.
Then we'll test them.
Absolutely. Vucetic looking to send it forward for Pradeshina. Won't get hold of it.
No, but it wasn't a bad idea, was it? Just drop it off, set it off, and then play that third man run. Good tactic.
And you found the not inconsiderable presence there of Heath Illich, who looks very, very tall in that pink kit.
Oh, he's a good hide.
Dominici, that's a lovely ball. Barac, well, they coming together, and Daniel Barac has taken advantage and scored against his former club. Canberra Croatia appealing for a free kick, and the referee says no, and it's the hosts who continue their goal-laden journey at Stryda Park after 12 minutes.
And before we talk about anything else, let's talk about the finish, because he's put that away past Sam Brown with nonchalant ease, but there did look to be a free kick earlier in the move that affected Canberra Croatia's ability to defend it. Controversial moment perhaps, but nonetheless well finished. Monaro won. Canberra Croatia nil. First goal in 3 games.
I might not be the only person that thinks that the referee was going to blow that up and give a free kick when there was a coming together. There was a distinct advantage for Daniel Barac, whether or not it was accidental. But didn't he take it well?
He did take it well.
And there's a chance immediately for Jadric up the other end. And he might lay one off for Souza. And it's going to be 1-1. Nick Pradeshina rolls it into the net. And just like that, within a minute, we're all square.
Don't poke the bear. Do not poke the bear. This team are so resilient. I mean, the speed of their attack then has just left Monaro in their wake. No better start to the game could we have asked for. Really good open game, and this sort of augurs well for what happens next.
A simple goal for Nick Pradajina, his 9th of the season. He wasn't going to miss that one. Put on a plate by Riley Souza, who overlapped to support Marko Jadric. The 2 goals separated by about 35 seconds of play.
Yeah, Marko Jadric heavily involved. Probably got a little bit lucky with the slip of, I think it might have been Fernando, who sort of went down under his own steam. But nonetheless, the goal had to be finished, and they did it. I think it was a little bit of style.
I think it was Max Melik that slipped and let him in. Now, if there was a little bit of controversy over the goal at the other end, they've got a bit of luck back with Melik slipping and allowing Jadric to get away. So
it certainly hasn't done any damage.
Told you it wasn't going to be 0-0, Steve.
And you were right.
4-4 is very much on the cards.
Here we go.
As it always is.
Here we go.
I'll tell you a very bizarre stat again in a moment. It's Pradajina. Fernando pops it away. Colbertaldo. Pradajina. Challenged by McLaren was good. Free kick goes the way of the home team.
Go on, what's your rare stat?
9 matches that Monaro scored in during 2025. Daniel Baric has now scored the first goal 5 times.
And how many of those games has he scored? Has he scored in all 9?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't looked that one. Check that one up for half-time for you. But the fact he always scores the first goal nearly. Pradajina. He got the first goal tonight, but it's been counted out pretty quickly. Free kick goes the way of Croatia, though.
Yeah, a little handball just outside the box. I wonder if he would give him that if it was on the other side of that line.
It's a moot point, but I know what you're saying. Easier to give it when it's outside the area. This is Thomas James territory. Unfortunately for Canberra Croatia, he's not on the park. The assist king, dozen assists to his name this season.
Probably needs a left pegger.
Who's going to take it? Looks like Marko Jadric is going to step up.
I should imagine Ryan Keir might be the target here.
Has scored 2 goals this season, Ryan Keir.
Both headers?
I was going to say, unsurprisingly, you'll find both the headers. Marko Jadric.
Might just pull this back for the shot here.
Well, Keegan Vucetic is well placed, isn't he, to the left of him. It's dinked in towards that far post. It was met by Kachenko. Parach Cullen gets stuck in. Well, blink and you miss it starts. 1 apiece.
One really well finished, one well constructed. 2 good goals.
Ian Worthington wants to be on the podcast.
He does.
Well, you know, he needs to get the equipment sorted. He said he's got the equipment.
We're going to be calling it Bolton or bust.
Probably bust in that case then, I would have thought.
Be careful.
Melik happy to go back to Heath Illich. No, I think it'd be a good idea, but I just need time and ability to do it, innit, mate? Trying to find the opportunity.
Yeah.
Barac spreads it to Kreskas. He might have a run here at Saselya. Dinks one towards Kachenko, looking to set up Manda. Parach Cullen. One backwards. Straub wants to have a pop. Took a couple of nicks on the way through, I think. Should be a corner, right?
Yeah. It looked like it took a deflection. I don't know what he was. I thought the referee was actually going to bring it back for a free kick, the way he was sort of waving his arms about, but come up with a corner, and that's certainly the right decision.
Opportunity for Panthers to flood the penalty area. Stephen Dominici's gone across. Kachenko whips it in, and that's well held by Sam Brown.
Doing what Sam Brown does.
Saselya. Twisted and turned, couldn't go backwards. Kreskas. Just a moment on Nick Pradajina. scoring again. 9 goals this season, Steve. 17 now in 35 NPL appearances for him. And quite a lot of those early days, of course, would have been off the bench. Quite a lot of his goals have been off the bench. But he gets an awful lot of goals like the one he scored, doesn't he? Because he's always in the right place.
Absolutely. He's prepared to go into those areas. He makes long, lung-busting runs down this right-hand side for them, gets in at that far post. And, you know, 50 or 60% of his goals will come as tap-ins in that area, which is great. It's not. It's a skill in its own right. Not the actual finish, easy enough. But to be there, very important.
And you know in this team, if you gamble in those areas, that someone's more than liable to find you.
I think in the goal that we've just seen with their equaliser, you would have had a number of players that would have shot rather than found that extra pass. Jadrick out to Sousa across the face, and an easy tap in, whereas others would have made a poorer decision and tried to shoot from a bad angle.
And that's how they won the cup on the weekend. Jack Parach-Cullen finding that similar ball across the face of goal for Max Green to roll it home.
Well, even the first goal was similar, where they got the ball into a good area in the penalty spot, and Green just placed it off the post into the back of the net. Getting people in the right areas is something that teams work really hard at in the training paddock. Oh.
12 games this season for Canberra Croatia. 53 goals. 54 now if you count the one tonight. Both these sides very much among the goals.
It's over 4 goals a game.
It's good, isn't it?
It's a great record. And they don't concede many.
Well, they conceded 5 in the league, plus 1 in the 4 cup games. The only goal they conceded in the entirety of winning the cup was the penalty scored by Nico Abbott. They hadn't conceded a goal in open play in their cup victory from woe to go.
Reminiscent of 1966. England went through to the semi-finals without conceding. That's how good my memory is, and of course how poor England have been since. Good
they were
against,
magnificently poor this morning against Senegal. Yeah. Absolutely. Considering they wheeled out some players I haven't seen for a while, like Carl Walker. I thought he'd retired.
Jordan Henderson's back.
Jordan Henderson, apparently. I thought he'd retired as well. Anyway, more importantly, Socceroos qualified for the World Cup this morning.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Great result.
2-1 win over Saudi Arabia. Dominici with the free kick. Lifts it into the danger area. Won by Ryan Keir. Jadric can turn and bring it. Sparrow. Colbertaldo. That's a bit hefty. And you talk about goals this morning. Did you see the Conor Metcalf goal? Shanked it into the ground.
Yeah,
bounced it up over the goalkeeper. And you're like, brilliant. They all count. Really good result for the Socceroos. Performance was decent as well to go to Saudi Arabia. Matt Ryan saved a penalty.
He did. And they've only conceded 2 shots on target in the last, before this morning, 2 games. China and Japan, 1 each. Shots on target shows how well they are organised defensively.
And whilst the result against Japan was probably expected, considering that Japan rested a fair few of their big guns, I think this result overnight in Saudi Arabia was an absolute belting result for them.
I mean, the result against Japan came totally against their own play, but the result is what they were after.
6 points from the last 6. Can't argue any more than that,
No.
what they needed in this international window.
I think it's the first time Japan have been beaten in a World Cup qualifier in about 21 games.
It's not bad, is it?
Good. But here, we're actually seeing Canberra Croatia trying to get Sparrow to just play the way he's facing and then get runners going past him. And it's an effective tactic if they can get that last pass right. Because Monaro do look like to be playing a reasonably high line.
Parach-Cullen finds Colbertaldo. Vucetic steps away. Pradajina, the goal scorer. Loose ball. Kachenko finds Straub. It's been played at a reasonable pace.
Yeah, it's good.
Picking it around. Here's Fernando. Midway through the first half, looking for Fakedi Manda. Out wide, he won't keep that in. And I'll leave you this ridiculous stat that I know as well, because you know I love stats just on the World Cup. The last time England lost a World Cup qualifier match was in 2009 when they lost to Ukraine in a game that they were already qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah.
They lost, I think it was 2-1, but it was 2009, 16 years ago.
And you know what else in that period of time? They've won nothing.
No, absolutely. I was just trying to think what I was doing in 2009.
Watching England, were you?
I think I was just starting my commentary journey with Capital Football, funnily enough.
You probably were, yeah.
Here's Ryan Straub. Long time ago.
16 years.
Mind you, some of the groups they've been and the countries they've been playing against. It's not surprising. Pradagina charges that down. Marco Geyer, the early substitute for Deep Jones. Crowd's not bad, is it, Steve, for a Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's good. Very, very cold. But
yeah,
I
I put
think
my hands on the barrier in front of me, and I'm wishing I hadn't. I haven't put my gloves on yet.
really remarkable how much space people are actually finding in the middle of the park. It just seems a very open game.
Tigers FC might be watching tonight. Ali Effie, I believe, is going to come to the ground and have a look. They will be a team hoping for a draw. Would suit them down to the ground. They currently sit second on 18 points ahead of 2 points ahead of Monaro Panthers. 3 behind Canberra Croatia, having played a game more. This will be the catch-up game for Croatia. So if they could get away with this being only 4 points behind Croatia, that would be a win for the Tigers. Dominici, Barac, lovely run for him as well, and that's a super block.
Offside.
The flag had gone up. So yeah, that would be the best result for the Tigers coming away with 4-point deficit. I mean, if the Panthers could win, they would drop a place to Tigers, but it would actually put them back in the hunt, put to 3 points. So.
An unexpected game in hand, isn't it?
Yeah, this one, because the other game that was supposed to be in this round was Ugali Tigers, which was the season opener way back when. 2-2 draw down at Solomad. Just a reminder, the match between Knights and the Gunners was postponed tonight.
Good press. Monaro pressing very, very high and very, very well.
Still waiting for a goal at South Jarrah. Here's Dominici tiptoeing through and firing it across.
Tell you what, it's a good block, a good interception, because Daniel Barrett was sitting at the back post for a tap in there.
Jack Parach Cullen to the rescue. Vucetic challenged by Marco Gar again.
Dominici did extremely well under pressure. He brings it down out of the air and turns the defenders and get himself into a goal-scoring position. Very unlucky.
Pradagina, lovely to Vucetic, crowded by Kachenko and Straub. Sparrow trying to find Pradagina, but Guy is quick across the ground.
Yeah, read it well. Good defending.
Kreskus took that down nicely.
Yeah.
And finds Dominici, who finds Barac, who just about stayed onside. McLaren.
That's a bit unlucky too. Some good football being played here. Some really good ideas. Not all of them coming off, but some really good decisions being made.
Just on the international game, Michael Reed is watching tonight. He sends me a message saying, yeah, I agree about England being rubbish, but what about America's results? And apparently it finished USA 0, Switzerland 4 at home today. That won't please the American supporters ahead of the World Cup, or even their president.
I think America's got other problems to worry about besides football.
1 or 2 issues going on over there at the moment.
But that's not a good result for the US men's national team.
An amazing result for Switzerland, though.
Yeah, good result for Switzerland.
Here's Melik under pressure. Might come for Sparrow. Does now. Yardrich, an opportunity here to tee one up. And here comes Vucetic, and that's a fine save by Ilic. It should have been 2.
Yeah, it should have been 2. Great football again. Wonderful intercept. High up the pitch. Marko Jadric doing the right thing. Squares it to Vucetic, and unfortunately he couldn't find a finish. But all credit to Heath Illich, who got that very important foot in.
Rather heavy touch from Riley Souza. Doesn't mind getting forward, does he? The left full-back.
Their transition from all the players, they just know their jobs.
One by Barac. Barac Cullen, who was vital to that block moments ago. Both sides have had their openings. Both sides can point to the fact that they might be ahead. Scoreboard, though, still says 1 apiece.
Yeah, and it's probably a fair indication of how the game's gone, that they're both still level.
Just a bit more on Daniel Barach. What a season he's having, isn't he? He's scored the 9 goals, 10 goals now in the league, and 1 in the cup as well. Hit the ground running at the Panthers and hasn't stopped so far.
Doesn't surprise you with Daniel Barach, though. Very good football.
194th National Premier League game for him tonight. 103 times he's found the back of the net.
His last 2 or 3 years since his injury have probably been his best in terms of goal return.
He's come back from that knee injury as if he's never been away. Look at the break here. 3-on-2. Pradajina. Good runner ahead is Vucetic. First touch is good. Second drags it wide. And Marko Jadric is saying, why did you not move it one more on?
I mean, Marko Jadric showed him how unselfish you need to be in those sorts of situations. Can't blame him for having a shot, but if he's going to take that responsibility, you've got to hit the target. But Jadric was in a really good spot. Well, once again, we see the pace of their transition, counter-attack, electric.
It was turned over pretty quickly. I mean, where Vucetic was on the field, and his first touch was decent enough, and maybe just should have hit the target, really dragged it.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that 2 half chances? Well, 1.5 chances, I'd say. A really good one, and that one there. Here's Pradajina. All of a sudden, Canberra Croatia just finding some space. Straw with a really good interception. Now Barach.
Got a lot of numbers back then. I mean, I know it was coming from a misplaced goal kick, but they got numbers back to actually make sure that the danger was nullified.
This is a bit like the cup match at Deakin, which Canberra Croatia led 2-0 at half-time, but it was very much like this. Monaro had their chances.
Yeah.
At 1-0 down. They led tonight. That's a goal kick.
Well, I don't know whether you saw the stats from the Tigers game when Monaro drew 2-2. But I was talking to people before, and they had 26 shots in that 2-2 draw. And only equalised with almost the last header of the game. So that, you know, they can create. As their home record would suggest.
Sparrow swings it in for Pradajina. Looking for something special with... I think he was caught between knocking it back into the middle or volleying it a goal.
Well, I think his first thought should have been to get it back across. But
I tell you, that coat is just blinding me.
It's bright, isn't it?
Unbelievably bright. Whoever's child that is, you're not going to lose them. What a ball that is from Gaia. Barach, Brown's come to meet him.
How good was that?
Here, Pradajina kept it in, might have presented it to Kachenko. That's nicely done by Manda after Kachenko done the work against Kia, just to force him off balance a bit. Gaia, it's certainly a bit awkward. Kachenko finds Manda. Haven't really seen him have a run yet, have we?
No, he's not been in the game much at all.
He swapped wings as well to try and get involved. Yeah. I mean, he's only been with the club for about a week.
Yeah, you can't expect too much of him. He's not going to fit in straight away, but he's a class player. So if they can get the ball to him on enough occasions in decent areas, he'll reward them.
In the last 2 seasons, he's been patrolling the left-hand side of a front 3 for O'Connor Knights with some effect. This is a little bit of a different role they've asked of him tonight.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the 3-5-2 that Monaro adopt when they're going forward probably doesn't suit a player like Manda.
Dominici almost went through the gap. Wants a free kick, not given.
Well, consistency from the referee.
Sparrow's touch.
Poor touch. Played his teammate into trouble.
Dominici. Manda. Fernando. Dink out here towards Kreskas. He's going to get there and accelerates away from Cecilia. Delivery's deep, but Manda will pick it up and retrieve. And have a pop as well. Oh! Welcome to Monaro Panthers for Kenny Manda with an absolute stunner. It dipped across Sam Brown into the bottom corner, and Monaro are back in front.
The swerve he's put on that ball to get past Brown. I mean, Brown is reasonably well positioned. This comes about from a touch by Canberra Croatia, really giving Kreskas the opportunity to take the fullback on. And then he's got his cross and you're thinking, well, it's gone too far, but Manda picks it up and then with the outside of his right foot, curls one into the far post to restore Monaro's 1-goal lead, 2-1. Great game.
Debut delight for Fikeni Manda. Once a Knight, now a Panther. And showing his new employers just what they can expect.
Not the first time we've seen him score a spectacular goal. And that one right up there with his best.
80th NPL appearance in all for Fikeni Manda. 21 goals. A coming-of-age strike of some note. And more importantly, one that gives the Panthers the advantage back just when it seems that Canberra Croatia were turning the screw. And now those opportunities that they've wasted might come back to haunt them.
A long way to go. Long way to go. Canberra Croatia, as we know, can play beyond the 90.
I don't think we've seen the end of the goals by a long way tonight. Expected this one to be open and entertaining.
And it has been, hasn't it? Very, very open. Both teams going for it.
Gaia managed to keep that in. And Kreskas has got in behind here. Well, he hasn't. It was a very late call from the young assistant on this near side.
It looked out, but...
it did.
I think the right decision has eventually been arrived at.
Pradeshina with a throw.
Kreskas' pace is causing Cecilia all sorts of problems. All sorts of problems.
And Monaro winning that midfield battle at the moment.
Haven't quite come to grips with the fact that there's a 5-man midfield.
They haven't been able to get Daniel Colbertaldo on the ball much at all.
No. Most of his play has been one-touch stuff, trying to get that third-man run going, but they need him to be a little bit more composed, get him in the, in the areas where he's actually patrolling. They're good areas, but he needs the ball in there, and he needs to be more effective with it.
Here is Kreskas. Another assist for him as well, for the Manda goal. Gaia, sweeping ball in, was met by Parach Cullen. Manda. Dominici, lovely little flick in it. Well, took a touch off Gerbishin. It was an important one, otherwise Zach McLaren might have been in.
Good run from D, wasn't it, from the midfielder?
Well, just after we were saying Fikeni Manda's not really been able to get into the game, he scored a cracker, and then it's actually now starting to dictate things out there. It's the way you want to introduce yourself to a new club, isn't it?
You can't do any better than that, can you? I mean, he's dropped in at the moment as a right back. So when he goes forward, really Marko Jadric has to go with him.
10 to the break. Panthers leading for the second time. Not quite the instant response that Canberra Croatia found to Daniel Barac's opener.
No. But you wouldn't put it past them to be levelled by half-time.
Well, they have lost once this season. They're not all conquering. Tigers FC downed their colours at the AIS in a 2-1 win.
Again, Daniel Colbertaldo trying to play a little bit too quick, just needs to settle down. He's got the ability to actually turn in there and go the other way.
Might talk himself into a yellow card if he's not careful here. Gareth Biggs listened to the chat for about 15 seconds, and then when it carried on, just said, no more, please.
There you go.
And he gets himself a yellow card. There you go. Second of the campaign.
Still going, still talking. He might be, maybe he's got somewhere to go. Can't stay all night.
Well, they've all got somewhere to go on the weekends. They're heading to Griffith, Solomon Stadium.
It's a big week, isn't it?
They play Ugali 1:15 kickoff on Sunday for the first grade.
Presumably they've got to go...
Sorry, 1:30 kickoff, I should say. They go the night before.
Yeah.
11:15 for the under-23s.
Nightmare.
Well, I think I understand the kickoff change was requested by Canberra Croatia, who will go there Saturday, stay over the evening, and then play the games and come home. Cecilia Kia, which isn't a bad trip. We've talked about it before, having to go down there as a footballer, and you get to spend a night away with your teammates. That's for Sunday. It has been a big week with them. They've had the Chivapi derby, the Croatian derby, a fortnight ago. Then it was a cup final this top of the table clash here and then a trip to Ugali.
Yeah.
After that, they're over the road, Steve. High Street, Queanbeyan City.
At least they get the week in between. But this one is really important. They've got to get through these next 2 games relatively unscathed.
By the time they play Queanbeyan City away, we might have an indication of when the cup draw will be.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We'll find out who their opponents will be in the round of 32. Cobertaldo.
That's better from Daniel.
Ryan Keir just stabs it into the path of Cecilia. Sparrow comes deep and
really
then sprays a lovely ball towards Pradashina. Guy missed it in the first effort, but he's got back there.
Yeah, good pace to recover.
It's a big couple of months coming up for Canberra Croatia as they look to get the league title that they want as well. They want to be in that B League Champions League. I don't even know what they're calling it. The Australian Championship, is that what they're calling it? Something like that. Where they will play, whoever wins our Premier League title here will play Avondale, Preston Lions, and the winner of the New South Wales Premier League title.
No
League champions, whoever finishes top of the table. Yeah, home and away, 6 matches. Been experienced, if nothing else.
That was ambitious, crossfield pass. But they're obviously trying to get Predazina in behind Gaia.
Cobertaldo and Gaia are coming together again.
I don't know whether there was a retaliation there, but there's certainly been a clash of shins. Daniel doesn't want to be involved in anything from here on in that is untoward.
He got the free kick his way. He's having a spiky night, Daniel Cobertaldo, isn't he? Against his former club.
Funny, if you're just a little bit mentally fatigued, that's the sort of thing that can happen.
Then he played 120 minutes, Steve. I did 2 games on the weekend. What are you talking about? I'm mentally fatigued.
Well, yeah, but you start mentally fatigued. You're used to it.
Been living on mental fatigue for about, it must be about since my kids were born.
2009.
2009, we already discussed that, yeah. It's a lovely ball. Manda's got the pace to get in behind here now. Can he go directly for goal? He went down under the challenge.
And they've won a goal kick.
For Kenny Manda feels he should either have A, a corner, or B, half-hearted shout for a penalty.
I mean, he was certainly the meat in a sandwich, but it didn't look to be a foul from here.
5 to half-time then. Canberra Croatia in a position they've not found themselves in for quite some time. They trail a football match.
Well, to be fair, Monaro are probably good for it.
Before tonight in all competitions, and they conceded 6 goals. Now they've conceded 8. A quarter of their goals that they've conceded this season have come in the first half an hour of this match. Quite ridiculous when you think about it, Steve.
Yeah. But they're good both ends of the pitch, aren't they?
Well, they need to be good at the other end at the moment, don't they? Because they need a goal. They trail 2-1 and Panthers, well, the gander's up.
Yes, I think they'll sort of put in a lot of pressure on Cobertaldo because of that 120 minutes. I mean, they know, obviously, that he's a key player in how they get forward, but he's probably not.
It's a bit unlucky. Vucetic is now home. Pradashina. It's a bit lucky the way it got to Vucetic.
Yeah.
And then Pradashina with dare I say, a tired touch.
Well, he only played the half a game, didn't he? No excuse for him. But it wasn't a good touch.
I mean, yes, he might have only played half a game, but I'm not sure what the evening brought on. Cobertaldo. I'm pretty certain that they didn't just pack the medals in the bags and go home and have a rest.
No, I don't know that there'd be enough for a recovery the next day either.
Not many of them would have been there, I would have thought. For Kenny Manda. And why not? You don't win a cup every day of the week. Although sometimes if you're watching Canberra Croatia, it feels that way.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually talking to some of the Belconnen girls, and they celebrated with some gusto on Saturday.
Saw a few of them out here tonight. Phil team was here. Alyssa de Campley is here as well. Layla Billington was around. come to enjoy the football.
Oh.
Daniel Sparrow penalised. He got the scoring underway. Robert Kachenko's over this free kick. Plenty of Panthers jerseys to hit.
Conscious of the approaching half-time break, though. They're not pushing too many forward.
Helped on towards Balac. Came off his knee, I think. Might have come off a defender the way Sam Brown went to keep it in. Yadrich. Colbertado's been asking a lot to get that. Didn't get there, but it fell for Cecilia anyway. Souza helps it on. Yadrich loves these kind of situations. It's not a bad ball either.
Nearly.
Guy needed to be alert.
He was a bit ambitious and he didn't quite connect the way he wanted to, but you could see what he was trying to do.
That's a good ball from Cecilia. Pradagina to have a go. Couldn't force his way through.
Poor decision.
Is that a full moon up there tonight, Steve? Maybe howling at it a bit later.
It's just, you can see the whiskers on my chin growing.
There's a little bit of afters here. Challenge on Kreskas by Pradagina. Did not elicit the response that it probably should have. Christian Kreskas not happy with the challenge. Pradagina's going to see yellow for it.
Yeah. Daniel Sparrow unnecessarily involved, as are a number of others.
Well, the referee's got it, and there's one for Kreskas for his retaliation, which he probably wouldn't have got had he just stayed down and taken 10 seconds to think about it. Those kind of yellow cards really frustrate you as a coach, don't they, Steve? You've been clattered as a player. The opposition player's going to get a yellow card, and it's the retaliation of getting up and having a go that gets you the yellow.
It's, I mean, you say it every week, you see it every week. It's just a lack of discipline.
Now, Daniel Sparrow and Stephen Dominici are making their acquaintances. They know each other pretty well. Stephen Dominici is not happy with Daniel Sparrow, and he's still having a chirp at him.
As he runs away.
And he took up a position next to Matt Gerbischer for a minute. That's probably not the best place to go if you don't want a chirpy ear.
I think this suits the team that's in front. You know, make it chaotic.
A lot of words being said between both teams. We're into first half stoppage time. And all rather unnecessary. It's not been that kind of game, but both teams keyed up for the win. Manda, McLaren to fire it across. It comes for Dominici. It's a good save. It might be loose for Balac. And that's Sam Brown in a nutshell. Brilliant.
Brilliant. First and second save.
Good hit from Dominici. Guy has flattened Colbertaldo. The referee said nothing doing and given a free kick to Monaro.
Just the throw, I think, Russ.
Oh, the throw in. What's I mean? Sorry. Canberra Croatia are not happy here, are they, at the moment?
They'll be thinking this referee's got something against them.
Well, the free kick goes the way to the Panthers as well. Marco Guy has won it against his former team as well. I can tell you while this is all going on, it's half-time at South Jerrabomberra. Sounds like an absolute classic down there. Quimby City 0, Tuggeranong United 0.
I said to somebody earlier on in the evening that Tuggeranong are renowned for getting a draw.
They don't mind a draw, Tuggeranong United. 4 times in the 8 games this season. The team that's drawn the most. If you're American, it'd be the most drawest team. Is that what they'd say? Something like that. I don't know. Probably. Dominici swings it towards Manda. He did well to keep it alive at all. McLaren. The sanctity of the changing rooms might be just what these two teams need at the moment.
Yeah, just a little bit of...
Just to calm down.
Get the breathing back to normal. Let the emotions settle. It's made for a good watch.
Yeah, from a neutral perspective it has. And Monaro Panthers have a corner kick to end the half. This would be a glorious time to go 3-1 up from their point of view.
Oh, yeah. That would really give Canberra Croatia something to think about.
Straub to take, whips it in towards Fernando, and the hit was from Balac. It was a cracker. It's Kachenko, blocked by Porac Cullen. Second bite at it. They can't get rid of it here at the moment. Might fall for Balac again. Goes down amongst a crowd of players. In the end, it's stabbed clear by Porac Cullen. But what a volley from Barac. It's still not safe. Melik, Fernando. But the technique was class.
Yeah, really good strike. Really good strike. And you've got to say good defending because eventually they've got that away. But we saw on Saturday against Queanbeyan how corners in particular troubled Canberra Croatia. And we're seeing it again tonight.
I think it might have been Cole Bataldo who hooked it off the line.
It may well have been.
To deny Daniel Barac. That will be a goal kick. The youngsters getting the drums going. That'll do for the first half. An entertaining first half, Steve Fortraw. 3 goals, 3 really well-crafted goals and 3 really well-taken goals. Panthers in the ascendancy.
Look, 2-1 is probably a reasonable sort of assessment of what's going on this pitch. Monaro went one up, quickly equalised when they've gone into the half-time break with a 2-1 win, and they've probably done enough to justify that lead. Canberra Croatia is certainly not out of it, and they've had their chances as well. But this game is just teetering on the edge. There's things simmering underneath here that might just explode in the second half to make this game an even better watch than it has been in the first half.
Canberra Croatia has lost just once in the last dozen games, and they have scored in every single one of them. They've kept one part of that record up tonight. They've scored. That to keep the other part up, they're going to need a much better second half because at half-time here at Stryda Park, it's the hosts who have the advantage. Daniel Barac and Fakedi Manda on debut, cancelling out Nick Pradashina's equaliser. It's Monaro Panthers 2, Canberra Croatia 1. Says Spasesky and Daniel. Welcome back to Stryda Park. We're at half-time. It's gone really echoey, mate. Welcome back to Stryda Park. We're at half-time. It is Monaro Panthers who lead Canberra Croatia by 2-1. We're joined by club legend and father of a family, a dynasty of footballers, Walter Valeri. Thanks for joining us, Walter. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah,
thanks,
Carl
man.
and Matt, very well known to all of us in the football community here in Canberra as well, and they've been great for us here in this region. But we want to talk a little bit about Flavio De Pauli, the former Inter Monaro player. From the 1976 to the mid-80s, passed away on Monday at 73.
Yes, a very sad event. I met Flavio, my wife and I met Flavio and his wife in September 75. They came here to Canberra for a honeymoon, which was a bit strange, and we've been friends ever since. So this year we were going to celebrate 50 years of friendship, and that's the biggest hurt of all. I mean, he was a great, loving husband, father. He was just, but to me, best friend. He said every game that he played, he left nothing on the park. He was so committed to the Inter Monaro at the time. And, we won a championship and a grand final together, and it was good, and we've remained friends ever since.
Tell us a little bit about what he was like as a player. Where did he play on the park?
He was a left back, and one of these guys that was always at your feet, one of these ankle biters, never gave you an inch of space. It was the old typical old school defender, I guess you could say. And like I said, left nothing on the field. Gave 100% every time.
And it's really hard for everybody, obviously, that knows Flavio as well at this time. But have you got a message for the family and anybody who might be listening?
Look, I've been in touch with the family the whole time since the accident. But look, they've got the support. They've got great friends here, and Inter Monaro Panthers community now has been really good. And today they asked them to come along, and we'll have a special tribute at the end of the game for him. And look, they've got a lot of support, so I think she'll be which she will welcome very much.
Walter, thank you very much for joining us. We'll have to have you back on again at some stage to have more of a chat about your football career and the family as well.
No worries.
Robbie Catanach says to say hello.
Oh, right.
By the way.
Yeah.
So just
good.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all.
Ollie. Thanks, mate.
Walter Valeri there. Second half just begun. There's been two changes to the Canberra Croatia team. Tony Spasesky and Daniel Subasic on. David Saselia and Riley Souza off. Steve Fortrose with myself. Russ Gibbs. Great to hear from Walter, wasn't it?
It was. It's a very sad occasion, and obviously you'd like to talk to Walter in better circumstances, but Flavio De Pauli was, well described by Walter Valeri, who knew him extremely well. Very good player, very good man.
We'd love to talk a bit longer. Like I say, we'd have to do that again, another chat for that podcast, having someone like Walter to chat about his experiences down here from the early days in the 70s or into Monaro. And then, of course, the experiences of his family, Carl Valeri, of course, having to playing for Sassuolo in Serie A. Started his career at Tuggeranong United. Matt Valeri, of course, an absolute legend at Belconnen United.
Best signing I ever made. Said that on more than one occasion. You could ask anything of Matty Valeri and he'd do it for you.
That'll be a chat for another day, and I'm sure we will line that one up. It's great to have Walter on. We see him quite a lot as well.
And here, it's not that surprising that Cecilia was off. Crescas was giving him a rare old run around, and I think Dina Grinic had seen enough by half-time that he needed to change his right-hand defensive side.
Well, he's changed two defensively, which is interesting. So we'll see where they're all going to fit in. Daniel Subasic has gone centre-back, of course. especially to the right, which has obviously pushed Jack Parach-Cullen to left fullback to deal with the threat of Fekedi Manda, who, when he woke up this morning, was thinking about his debut. And many games you've played, doesn't matter how many games you've played in your career, your first one for your new club is always a little daunting.
Well,
your new teammates, new fans.
You want to impress your teammates as much as anybody else.
And scoring a goal to put them 2-1 up is not a bad way to go about it. Here's Kachenko. Manda, bit of space to work. Well, he tries luck again. But he's dipped one towards that far post for Dominici. That's brilliantly taken down by Stephen Dominici. Straub. Blocked by Parach-Cullen. Comes up for Kachenko. Thought Manda might hit that.
It wasn't a bad ball in there, but what a piece of control from Dominici.
It's a Robert Kachenko special area, isn't it, from where Fekedi Manda found himself there?
Yeah.
David Paliwato was going to say hi to Walter Valeri as well, so we'll pass those best wishes on too. I think a lot of people would know Walter from around the football traps.
Well, if you don't know Walter, you haven't been here long enough.
Clad in his Monaro Panthers jacket tonight, wasn't he?
Great striker in his day.
Will Monaro Panthers be able to add to their tally? They've got some decent strikers in this era as well.
They have indeed.
10-goal Barach, not the very least.
Well, they've had a few good strikers over the last few years. Andre Carl, when he was here, didn't do so bad.
He scored 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, Lookman was here for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, Lookman Shaibu. There's had a few clubs in Canberra now. Yardrich, that's a good ball. Sparrow's broken the offside trap. And can advance here, Daniel Sparrow. Angle's tight, but it doesn't matter. That is some finish from an acute angle from Daniel Sparrow. His first sight of goal, and Canberra Croatia back on terms early in the second half.
I mean, he was afforded so much space wide on the Croatia right, and he's taken full advantage of it, steamed into goal. And probably, had he missed that, he might have been in a bit of strife because it was a really poor angle to shoot from. But he has finished that with some authority. Heath Illich will probably think I shouldn't get beat at my near post, but that was rammed home before Heath Illich knew what was happening. 2-2, game on.
9 goals he started the season with, Daniel Sparrow. He's already added 6 to his name in the league. He's got 9 in all competitions this year. Incredible statistics.
He's, he's been pushed into this number 9 role, and everybody knows that he works hard and he gets stuck in and puts himself around, and he's got a goal or 2 in him, but he's actually been a revelation in that role this season. And when he came on Saturday in the cup final, he was part of the substitutions that changed the game in favour of Canberra Croatia, and he's done it again tonight.
He's loving life as a striker, Daniel Sparrow, and he's scoring at will. And he took that one with a player full of confidence, didn't he?
There was never any other thought in his mind other than, I'm going to shoot here and I'm going to finish.
2 apiece.
Good game. Good game. Plenty of goal-mouth action, plenty of chances missed, 4 taken, more to come, I would suggest.
Kachenko's free kick straight into the wall. Second bite of it. Free kick goes the way of Canberra Croatia. Nodded away. And as far as Cole Battaglia, look at the room out wide. Heaps of room for Pradeshina. The pass from Vucic perhaps wasn't good enough.
Didn't have enough pace on it, but he might have taken that on the outside anyway. With this 3 at the back from Monaro, if you don't get it right, you get exposed on the flanks.
Start to the second half, exactly what Dina Grinic would have asked for. And Sparrow, well, that was unfortunate because Vucic might have been able to isolate Barco Gaia 2-on-1. Kreskas having a run at Spaseski. And sliding it for Balac, who swings a boot at it. It wasn't far away again. Chances at both ends.
It just looks too easy, doesn't it, to create chances of getting behind. I mean, it's defensively, both teams are not quite at the same quality as we'd expected, teams in the top three.
Do you know, Steve, I've done my very best. I've got to 53 minutes, but the gloves are coming on. Usually the gloves come off.
Come off, yeah.
But they're going on because you know what?
It's cold.
It's a little bit, isn't it? Michael on camera wouldn't know because he's rugged up with a scarf and a hat, and he's got his Socceroos scarf on, celebrating the qualification. Here's Manda. Well, McLaren couldn't take that into his control. Spaseski wanted to make that his own and did.
Again.
And Cole Bataldo, here's Pradagina, acres of room to pick out a pass, and Sparrow on the turn.
And Jadrick in miles of space, just rushing things a little bit.
Perhaps Daniel Colbertaldo might have been the better option if Daniel Sparrow had stepped over that ball to run onto it. But the space that Nick Pradagina is getting against the three-man defensive line is worrying for Paul McCaw.
Yep. It's certainly Kreskas have looked really good going forward, as has Manda. And we saw such a wonderful finish from Manda in the first half. But defensively, they're not helping out the back three as much as I think Paul McCaw would want them to.
Manda finds Balac, Dominici. A couple of yards of space for which to work. It's not a bad ball.
Good ball. Good ball. Unfortunately, they hadn't got quite forward far enough to actually take advantage, but it was whipped in with some venom. Really good ball.
I love ridiculous stats.
Here
You
we
know
go.
I do. I'm just going to go, just reiterate on what we talked about earlier. This is the 36th game between this team in all competitions in the NPL era. The next goal will be with like 150th, which is a lot of goals.
It's a lot of goals. Now,
Marko Jadric.
Max Melik is no slouch when he covers the ground, but Jadric has beaten him for pace there.
Got some news as well that I can tell you in just a second as Colbertado whips this one towards the far post. Pradagina was the target. He's offside. Ash from IMGA, who sat next to us, and at half-time he tells me that a couple of minutes before kick-off, we wouldn't have picked it up because we were on air, Max Green was removed from the match card and was replaced by Ivica Majetic.
And Ivica Majetic came on as
So
a substitute.
he did in the cup final. He's now on the bench as well. Thanks, Ash, for picking that one up for us. Max Green's obviously went out there. He's got a very tight hammy, I think it is, and groin area where he was on the weekend. He was cramped up all the way up that left leg. So maybe they've just rested him thinking, well, he's gone out there, he's cold. He's tried to have a warm-up on it before kickoff, and he's just gone, it's not there for him here.
Not worth the risk.
No, so young Majetic will get another opportunity, hopefully.
And they speak very highly of him. People that know him speak very highly. I think he captains the 23s. He's a good midfielder, good solid midfielder.
And his dad sent me a message on the weekend, said I pronounced his name 99.9% correct. So I need to know what that 0.1% is. Ivica Majetic. So I don't know where we're going wrong with it, but there's a 0.1 somewhere. It'll be the somehow the Croatian roll.
Yes, look, and with all due respect, we should pronounce his name properly.
No, we're trying.
Yeah, I understand that.
Steve, for sure.
Been called worse.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. That's only in the confines of your own house.
Yeah.
Colbertaldo.
I don't even get called for breakfast there.
Was that very early this morning? Made my wife a cup of coffee.
Did you?
Yeah, I got some brownie points in. They've got to come out and watch some football, haven't they?
Well done. Yeah, but you were here at 1:30.
Wish it wasn't quite that early. It wasn't far off, to be honest. I was at Dendy today for an hour and a half shooting a video. Tough old gig, eh? That's a cinema, mate.
Right.
Don't get to go out very often these days, do you, Steve?
No.
Unless you're working the barbecue at Belconnen. Sparrow.
Offside, sure.
Pradagina. Gaia's challenge.
Great challenge. Looked a bit offside, but we're a long way away.
We've got the evening Riverside haze.
It's a bit smoky, too.
I don't know if the fire's been lit down there. There's a fire pit right behind the trees down by the river's edge. Big one as well.
Certainly a clear night.
Yeah, I was looking at that moon earlier. It is full.
Yeah, it is.
Not much for the celestial parts of the night sky, but I did understand that coming up soon, on I think sometime in late June, will be a strawberry moon, whatever that is. It's not quite a red moon. It'll be maybe a little bit pinky red. I'm not sure. If you know what a strawberry moon is and when it is going to, let us know, because we love to know random things. Hope you're enjoying the football wherever you're watching, and hope you're warmer than me and Steve.
I bet you Tony Oliveira's on that straight away.
Oh, he would be. He'd know. He knows everything, that bloke, doesn't he? Tony Oliveira. Whatever he doesn't know, his mate Google does. Colbertaldo. Sparrow bounced away from him.
Yeah, but they're looking to find his feet and then play off him. It's been something they've repeated time and time again throughout the first half. And again, in the second half, that fire pit is going, Russ.
Can you see it? Oh, you can just about see it down the in the background. Zach McLaren. Then Subasic just exchanging pleasantries.
Just settled down a bit, didn't it? The game after that frenetic start to the second half. It's just settled into a little bit of a midfield battle.
Well, it's a short ball from Vucetic. Was picked off by Kachenko, but is won back by Subasic. Guy's got nowhere to go. Finds Kachenko.
Done well.
Manda's got half a yard. Backing himself. Melik. Straub.
Ambitious.
Yeah, Melik went, didn't he, and then stopped because he wasn't quite sure whether or not the pass was going to come to him.
Easy to be critical from up here, but I think that's the time that you've got to be a little bit patient and just secure possession, even if it means playing backwards for a pass or two.
I'll just remind people at home, it's a family show. Frank Casey, you can't send me messages like that. I've got a question for you in a minute. I don't know if I want to ask it. Kachenko goes down under the challenge. You'd have to answer this one straight away because we'll wait for the free kick. But got a message here. Doesn't mention the person. I won't yet at the moment. It says, get Steve talking about Leeds' chances in the EPL next season. That'd be an interesting listen.
Leeds, I think, will start as favourites to win it, but then deteriorate from there.
That message actually came from Paul Trushell, who's a Manchester United fan, apparently. Here's Straub. Oh, that's a great turn. And steps away. Has to go backwards. Dominici to send it towards that far post. That's a really good win. And that wasn't a really good shot from Zach McLaren.
No, but it was a good period of pressure from Monaro, and then a little overly ambitious from Zach McLaren from that sort of place.
Almost landed in the old Marco Polo club, didn't it?
It did.
Down the back there behind...
It's officers now, I think.
Is that what it is?
I think
It's
so.
a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, good little club. Walter Valeri and Flavio De Paulo would know a lot about the inside of the Marco.
I'm sure they've explored every inch of that place over the years. That one for Fernando is going to be tricky, and Sparrow's made it hard for him. Went down under the challenge. I'm wondering if it was a slip more than anything from Daniel Sparrow.
It looked a bit like a simulation. I'm not sure that there was any contact at all, but
Dominici finds McLaren 4 ahead of Zach McLaren. Kreskas started brightly, and we didn't mention him too much. That's a tackle from Vucetic, which might have won the ball, but it got a bit of Kreskas as well, according to our match official tonight.
not much difference between the Sparrow and that one, I don't think.
Well, Stephen Dominici lined it up. I think he wanted to go early, but Gareth Biggs has said wait for the whistle.
He certainly has. This has got a shot written all over it.
For Dominici, who does have a hit. Apparently it's a strawberry moon tonight, I'm told.
Tonight, isn't
It
it?
doesn't look like a strawberry moon. Does it?
Well, I wouldn't know what a strawberry moon looks like.
Well, I presumed it would be a bit more
Strawberry.
coloured than what it is up there, which is a bit white, like a normal moon.
Maybe we can only see the cream.
Jeez, that's terrible. Talk about mental fatigue. Kachenko looks to help that on.
Do you want me to talk about Leeds again?
No, that would give me mental fatigue. Dominici in behind. Pulled back by Matt Gudabishu, who's probably going to see yellow for this, you would imagine.
Yeah, yellow only.
Second yellow card of the campaign for the experienced campaigner. I'm not allowed to call him an old warhorse anymore.
No. Warhorse, perhaps. But don't be ageist.
Okay, veteran.
Veteran.
Okay, you could be a veteran of anything, couldn't you?
You know, with the boilerplate datas.
Christian Kreskas over the free kick. Players to hit at the back.
Not the biggest wall I've ever seen. Looks like a troop from Snow White.
That's horrendous. It is a tiny wall, isn't it? Kreskas will take it. Goes around the wall. Keir away. Teed up for Ryan Straub. Charged down by Daniel Corpotaldo.
Yeah, well defended by Canberra Croatia.
Gaia.
They knew what they were doing.
Amanda slips past one, can't get past another. Subasic swings it away.
I mean, if that was meant, that's the best ball of the year.
On Pradeshina, that is some ball. Yardrich will keep Heath Illich on his toes. Goalkeeper did well.
Ryan Keir's strong.
Yeah, he just went straight through Daniel Barach. Bounced off him. Gets the pitching wedge out to loft one over the top. Excellent work from Sparrow again.
Yeah, and he tried to do exactly the right thing. He was trying to get it into the box, into a good area for a finish.
Becoming very open and stretched. Sam Brown going for a wander. And rather rifled that approach. I'm not sure it was meant for him.
I think it was for Corpotaldo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if it gets to Corpotaldo, they're in a really good spot. These signs of fatigue, if your camera might not pick it up, but Daniel Sparrow, I mean, he played the 75 minutes of the game on the weekend and he's put in his shift. And he's just struggling to get back into an onside position.
It took him an age, didn't it? Kreskas, Melik against Parach Cullen. Panthers will be the fresher. They've not played for a couple of weeks. Kreskas, you'd think they'd finish the stronger of the two.
You would expect them to. I think the last 20 minutes of this game we'll find out.
Nodded away by Subasic.
Just a half yard too slow.
Corpotaldo takes him time to pick himself up as well. Melik, Barach, Straub, the home side sensing a bit of blood here.
Yeah, it's one or two of these guys that are a bit gassed.
Looking at the bench that's available, they've got Nicholas Subasic, Ivica Majatic, the two outfield players. Niki Subasic did not play on the weekend. He had a trapped nerve, I believe, in the back.
Oh, you were saying something about
that. So, yeah, I'm not sure he's okay to be on the bench tonight, but hasn't been used as yet. Kreskas with the corner kick into the near post. Came off Gudabishu. Ryan Keir, rather. But you get this feeling, and you can sense it amongst the Monaro Panthers players, that they feel this is there for the taking.
Yeah, they're just slowly grinding away and getting on top here. And then if they can get another goal to put them back in the lead, then I'm not sure Canberra Croatia will have enough left in the tank to come back again.
Kreskas. It's good defending from Parach Cullen.
It is. Very.
And he stumbled. Will be a goal kick.
Yeah. Did very well, though. Did very well. Not sure that he's accustomed to playing left back, but he's done a reasonable job so far.
66 minutes gone at South Jerrabomberra. It's still Queanbeyan City 0, Tuggeranong United 0. Mitch Stevens-side will be desperate to get a goal there. They'll feel that if they can get a result tonight, they'll put them on 13 points, put them potentially, as we stand, 4 points behind the Panthers in third. And would also then open up a bit of a gap between them and Queanbeyan City, which is at the moment 1 point and could be 4. by the end of the night. Alternatively, a Queanbeyan City win will put them in the top 4.
But I think they'll suffer similarly to the men in red here, that the last 20 minutes are going to be particularly difficult to overcome.
Nico Abbott on the bench for Queanbeyan City today, as we probably expected. He normally does about 65 minutes of football. He played 120 on the weekend.
In one day, wasn't it, really, for Nico? Managed to get on the score sheet again, though, as he does.
Often on the score sheet. And we will see him on Saturday over the road. Gungahlin United, the visitors. Here's Sparrow. It's come loose for him. Finds Vucetic. Can't tee up Pradajina. Fernando steps in. And on Sunday, plenty of football. Tuggeranong United versus the Panthers is our offering for you in terms of commentary at Canberra 2. Should be a good match.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, especially if Tuggeranong can get a win tonight, or if both teams could get a win tonight.
Panthers looking the sharper. That attack a moment ago, Steve, that's a foul with Dominici. I don't know if you agree with... Oh, it's going to be a yellow card here for Stephen Dominici. And then there's a shove as well.
Yes.
That's a 4th yellow card of the season for Stephen Dominici from my calculations, which means he won't play at Canberra 2 on Sunday, if that's correct. And he's still chirping away.
Not unusual.
Matty Gerbish is trying to calm him down a bit.
I thought he'd actually put this to bed this season, because the way he started the season, he was playing really well and concentrated on just letting his football do the talking. But last couple of weeks, he's just got a bit testy.
Sam Brown launches one. It's come off Fernando. So that will be Dominici, if that is correct, out of the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Change. Niki Subasic. King Vucetic is making way.
Marko Jadric going into midfield, I think.
Well, they will have Michael Piccolo available for selection. Canberra Croatia on the weekend.
If he's registered, yeah.
I think he should be through on time, perhaps. Niki Jadric is still a bit away. They're missing his presence.
They are. He started the season very well.
Sure, there will be a few more moves in the transfer window.
Yeah, a few twists and turns to go yet.
Marco Gaia. Good flick on by Barac. Manda. He's got Dominici in front of him. And he'll back himself with his pace and trickery and deliver it towards Dominici, but there was Brown. Calm head amongst the defensive ranks of Canberra Croatia.
Just finding it hard to get out of their own half.
I was going to say before the challenge on Dominici, which got the foul, that break for Canberra Croatia just prior to that, where it was on the edge of the penalty area, it looked very tired, didn't it? There was some labour passing. Usually they're so crisp and precise in that area.
And it just slightly behind people rather than in front of them. And, you know, that's just a sign that things are just wearing a little bit weary.
Well, Dina Grinch obviously thought so. He's made the change.
Yeah, but it's very clever management of his squad. I mean, some changes he was forced into with the injuries to Green and to Thomas James, but I don't think they would have started this game anyway.
And they are missing their front two, even though it seems a bit silly when they've scored twice as well.
Yeah, not as much as I thought they would. I mean, on the weekend, Queanbeyan City closed them down reasonably effectively until late in the game when Max Green sort of got away a bit.
Sparrow took his goal beautifully well tonight. Well, I wouldn't say the other two of the front four, because they've scored plenty themselves this season. Nick Pradajina, haven't they, and Daniel Sparrow.
Well, they both scored again tonight, haven't they?
But it really helps when you've got 4 players that can score goals.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me a little, and this is my bias, because being a Manchester United fan, of that. Do you remember that treble-winning team where they had Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
No.
4 players who could all score plenty of goals.
Makes a big difference.
Huge difference, because you can you've got a couple of players that maybe are having an off day, and there's two more that can just step up to the plate and score. You've got Daniel Sparrow in all competitions this season now, who's scored 9 times. Nick Pradagina's got himself 8. There's been 8 goals from Thomas James in the league. Max Green has got 12 goals in his last 8 games. You know, it's incredible statistics from those players.
But generally, they're scoring a lot of goals, so somebody has to be on the score sheet on a regular basis, and they've got a number of players that are filling that particular role.
And the way it's worked for them this season as well, Steve, as we wait for this free kick, for this Canberra Croatia corner kick, is that the ones behind them haven't had to score many. David Cecilia, Gudabishir, Priach, Cullen, Riley Souza. Riley Souza, before he went off, had scored 3 goals this season. Ryan Keir's got 2. Daniel Kopitardo yet to score. Vucetic has got 2. Everybody else hasn't got a goal. But they haven't needed to. They've defended and just gone to the front 4 or 5. You do what you do at the other end.
But they've got a sprinkling of goals from other players, which is important as well. And you never know. Here, they might get another one.
I was going to say, might be the moment. Kopitardo over the corner kick. Daniel Sparrow's in there. Daniel Subasic is up there. Matt Gudbisher doesn't go for corners anymore. Sam Brown's on the halfway line. Maybe he wants to get involved.
Well, he's certainly giving instructions.
Kopitardo in towards Sparrow. Well won by Fernando. Helped away by Dominici.
Oh, dear.
Free kick awarded. What was that for?
A little nudge from Yadrich on Dominici as he went up for the header, but there wasn't much in it.
It was minimal contact. Fernando over the free kick. He's done well since he's been forced into that position.
I like him as a player. The versatility is really handy.
Still recall a goal he scored at Greenway when he was first season for Tuggeranong United.
Yeah, that was long range.
Took aim from Benython.
Yeah.
And spanked it in the top corner. Nicky Subasic, might get there first. Heath Illich looks second best, but got there.
He was the coolest man on the park, wasn't he? Illich.
But he hit that ball down at Greenway, dear me. The net wasn't there. Some of the local kangaroos might have been in trouble behind the goal.
I got chased by 3 kangaroos yesterday.
Did you?
At Radford. Yeah.
What were they after? Just chasing you for random.
Well, I am considered quite attractive in the kangaroo community.
I was going to say, they can't have been very quick if they didn't catch you.
I was in the car.
Oh, you were in the car? Nicky Subasic busting through. I just got visions of you running around Kayleen Oval, mate, being chased by kangaroos. You sure it wasn't the kangaroo mascot that we got at Kanga Cup? Someone.
It would have called me.
They chased your car?
Yeah. They were bouncing down the road behind me as I was leaving Radford's College yesterday.
What were you doing, mate?
Coaching.
Well, no.
Kangaroos.
The coaching kangaroos, clearly.
Working on the bounce.
Do you know what? I'm done. Going home. Mental fatigue, that's enough, mate. Quarter of an hour to go.
It's cold, Russ.
It is.
My lips are cold.
15 minutes to play. What's been an absorbing encounter? 2-2. Panthers and Croatia. As we stand, Monaro Panthers onto 17 points, a point behind Tigers. Canberra Croatia will go to 22.
Well, I should imagine that Monaro, if it was to finish as it is now, would be delighted that they haven't conceded a lot of goals. They've scored a couple against their nemesis, and they've got a point off them for the first time this season.
Will it stay that way?
We don't know. I mean, that's Kopitardo in the book, I would have thought. Or he's already
in the book. He's got to be a bit careful.
Well, he's dodged one there. Because that was deliberately raking down the back of the Monaro players' legs.
Definitely dodged one. Quarter of an hour to go at South Jarrah. 0-0. Tuggeranong and Queanbeyan City. No closer to finding a winner there. Will it be honours even all rounds in New South Wales tonight? That's up towards Badach. Brown comes to get it. Incidentally, for those of you who might be watching from interstate, the game between Queanbeyan and Tuggeranong is not far away from here, is it, Steve? Probably about 10-minute drive up the road.
Yeah. Verona Place, whatever it's called.
In Verona Drive, yeah.
Yeah.
The South Jerabomber Regional Sporting Complex, to give it its full name. Doesn't exactly trip off the tongue.
Oh, it's asking a lot, Ryan. They played on the weekend, you know.
Nick Pradagina can't get the motor going.
Sparrow can.
And he's got there and charged it down, and well, he did it so calm again. He's just like, that's going out of play.
Well, Daniel Sparrow is a machine, isn't he? He just never, ever stops. I thought he was done. I saw him breathing really heavily a few minutes ago, but he's got that second wind, and on he goes.
The experience of a player that knows when to get the air in. Mander's touch. Dominici might have been offside, but leaves it for Kreskas, who can swing it in, but too close to Brown.
I think it took a deflection, otherwise it mightn't have been a bad ball.
Spaseski spotted a bit of grass and runs into it. And off and going. And still going. Found Sparrow. That's a hefty challenge on Marco Guy.
Yeah, Subasic is not blessed with electric pace playing down that right flank, but he's caused some problems. Predazina was getting all sorts of space in the start of the first half. That seems to have been rectified now.
Paul McCall's bench, incidentally, that he's got left to draw on. Jack Elwood, a left-sided defensive player normally. Callum Smith, who's a midfielder, who's coming back from long-term injury. Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton, who is a forward, but hasn't seen a first-team game for a couple of years now. I wonder if he will roll the dice with one of those. Yardridge, who's been very quiet in the second half after a bright first 5 minutes. Mind you, a lot of his teammates could say the same thing. They do look out on their feet here. Sparrow might get there, though. Even though they do look knackered, Steve, it wouldn't surprise you if they turned around here, Canberra Croatia, and strung something together.
Oh, no. I mean, they're good enough. I mean, they can play with their heads. They're good enough players.
Spaseski, he's still got a bit of bite left in him and his. Yardridge, who's got him behind.
Should have scored.
Illich with the save.
Needed to lift it. Good goalkeeping, but he in behind. He should have done better.
And that was the point I was just making.
Exactly.
So eloquently.
Well, apart from your scientific description of how tired they were.
Kreskas. Melik has managed to stay on side. Had the chance to cross and didn't take it. Colbertaldo will send it away. Now Yardridge concerned. It's 2-on-2 if he can get it forward. Niki Subasic up against Gaia. Sparrow ahead of him. Ball's let run for Yardridge. Pradazina's getting there after a fashion. Yardridge, that's a good ball for Pradazina. He skips over the challenge of Kichenko.
But yeah, just a little too heavy. Yeah, there's one or two lads feeling the pinch now in red. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Marco Yadrich in that last move forward, usually, he's full pace. But he only just got to that.
Subasic. Colbertaldo clips it over the top for Pradazina. Flag stays down. Chance to send it into the middle.
Good defending again.
There's Gaia. He wore a bit of Subasic as well, didn't he?
What's he done here?
Free kick, yeah.
Why not play on?
That's a good question. Can't answer that one. Kreskas. Dominici. It does feel that there is a winning goal here for one of these two teams.
The one player that I think can play under this sort of fatigue is Colbertaldo. If they can get him on the ball and let him play things forward, they might still get a winner out of this.
Colbertaldo, here he is, as if on cue. Wasn't a bad ball as well. Pradazina had checked his run, though, otherwise he might have been in.
Yeah, I don't think he could have kept going because of the offside, but that's the sort of thing I'm talking about with Colbertaldo, because he can play with his head. He's just a clever player.
Daniel Sparrow left one in on Ryan Straub, I think it was. Matt Gerbischer back for Brown. Ryan Straub picks himself up rather gingerly behind us.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened, but Daniel Sparrow isn't a stranger to a sort of hefty challenge.
Well, he committed to the tackle, didn't get there. Fernando. And he found Nicky Subasic. Gaia, there's lots of space, isn't there, if either side can utilise it, but there's a lot of tired tackles coming in.
Yeah, there is. Somebody's going to get hurt in a minute.
Good feet from Dominici to get away and almost slide it through for Barach. He's gone down. Matt Gerbish had a little word with him as he went past. Ryan Straub. Gaia. Manda. Lovely ball. Barach took it down. Gerbish takes it off his toes.
Dominici just struggling to get to his feet. I didn't see what happened. Did somebody catch him a bit late?
When the ball was played, there was a suggestion that maybe someone had nipped his leg.
He's still sort of limping a bit.
No sign of a change from the Panthers just yet. That ball's out of play.
No, it's offside.
Quite a lot of shouts for handball as Matt Gerbish caught it.
Yeah. Saw that happen once at Belconnen. Davey Rance, the linesman put his flag up. Davey Rance caught it. The referee played on. Penalty. Delightful.
We saw it in the Women's World Cup a few years back. Do you remember? Australia played, I think it was something like Equatorial Guinea or something. The player caught it in the penalty area, drops it to her feet, boots it up the park, and we just played on. Have a look at it, Google it. It's quite a famous moment in, I think, in a Matilda's game in the World Cup.
I mean,
this was before VAR, of course. I'm not really sure why they didn't give the penalty, but
it was the way football started. That's how you could do it.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe they were just playing those rules. Jadric
or lack of.
Kachenko slid in to win it. Parach Cullen finds Pradajina. Challenge from Kreskas.
Get the corner, I think.
Conversation between the two officials, and it will be a corner. And we've got 6 minutes to play. Can Canberra Croatia lift themselves up and find a way? They often do. These kind of moments, and when it's made for them, we're going to get a change. Jack Elwood is going to come on. And is it Stephen Dominici?
I'm not sure.
Looks like it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Making his way over to the bench. Jack Elwood, nominally a left-sided defensive player.
I wonder if
can play
is...
wide if necessary. I wonder if you just chuck him up top and see what damage he can cause.
Maybe. Or they're just saying, we'll hang on to what we've got, we'll take the point.
Colbertaldo with the set piece. Swings it in. Might come for Sparrow. Does come for Subasic. Belted away by Barach. Sam Brown will get there. Go to Bishop. Slide rule towards Parach Cullen. Colbertaldo.
They got away with that a bit.
Sparrow still full of energy. Still full of direct running. That's not a bad ball either.
It's a great idea. I mean, he's worked his socks off there. You would expect somebody to get in the box for him.
With 5 minutes to go, are we going to have to settle for a point apiece? As I mentioned earlier, this might be a result that will favour Tigers in their pursuit.
I don't think either of these teams will be that disappointed if they draw. Obviously, the 3 points are still up for grabs, but from a Canberra Croatia point of view, they're coming off the back of the cup final. Monaro haven't played for a couple of weeks and needed to get a result against a team as good as Canberra Croatia.
They still might.
And still might, you're dead right.
Here's Elwood in space, first chance for him to send it in. Colbertaldo got back to defend. Pradajina will bring it away.
Oh, went the wrong way.
Sparrow will still chase because that's what he does. Max Malik will tidy up. Ilic finds Fernando.
Yeah, good football. Well done, Ilic.
Malik forward. Steve, has either side done enough to warrant a victory?
I don't think you could be too disappointed if one of them got their next goal to make it 3-2, because there's been enough chances both ways for both of them to win it. But here we go. No. I think at the moment the game is evenly poised. From that point of view, you've got to say a draw is probably the fair result. I'm not sure it's done yet, though. It's just on an edge, from as far as I'm concerned.
Manda forward for Balach. There's so much space, isn't there? It feels like there might be an opening for either side to win it. And a goal now
Would win it, you'd think.
and it would be priceless in the search towards that league title. With a place in the Second Division Championship up for grabs for the league champions after 21 rounds. Sparrow slides in.
Wow.
Balach will put the pressure on Gerbischer. Has he shown too much of that to Kreskas?
Yeah, he did. That was the pressure from Daniel Barrett as much as anything else.
Stephen Dominici getting high fives off of Matt Gerbischer's boy. Down below us. Some challenge by Marko Jadric. Elwood's. Straub. Elwood again. Slides it through. Here's Balach, just too heavy. It's a really good, really brave piece of goalkeeping from Sam Brown. Daniel Barrett had every right to go for that ball. And Sam Brown was very courageous indeed.
Yeah, and I don't think Daniel Barrett had any intention at all to cause any pain to Sam Brown. It was just one of those that you've got to go through. Great goalkeeper, great goalkeeper.
And if it is the last we are to see of Sam Brown in a Canberra Croatia shirt, he's done himself justice yet again, as he has done through nearly all of his 165 National Premier League appearances.
Yeah, hardly puts a foot wrong.
Seen some amazing things this season. I don't think a Sam Brown match winner's going to be on the cards. Unless he wants to take this free kick.
I don't know that he'll be trotting too far further forward than where he is now.
Well, into the final minute when this free kick will be taken. Can Canberra Croatia do what they normally do and break the hearts of the opposition? They did it to Queanbeyan City in the 120th minute of the cup final. We're in the 90th minute of the league match here against the Panthers. 2-2.
In the 90th minute on Saturday, Sparrow and Max Green both had opportunities to win it.
Cole Bataldo has a go. Oh! Daniel Cole Bataldo with a stunner to win it, surely. What a hit from the free kick. They have come up trumps again. You can never write them off.
No, too good, too good. I mentioned a few minutes ago that Daniel Cole Bataldo might have a part to play, and he's certainly lived up to that particular billing. What a strike. That gave Illich absolutely no chance whatsoever. Hit with power, hit with precision, and it's gone where the Spiders live, in the top corner. Great goal to win a game, thoroughly deserving of the three-pointer.
A stunning strike from the midfield maestro. The player Steve Forshaw said that might be the difference in a fatiguing side. Probably not what you thought he might come up with, but on occasions when they need him, he often comes up with a goal of some quality. You've seen it down the years in the colours of Canberra Olympic, the colours of Canberra Croatia, and it's Cole Bataldo with a screamer.
I really expected it to be he would lay on the pass that set the goal up, but what a strike that is. Daniel Cole Bataldo at his very best.
Now can they hold on? They lead for the first time tonight. The Panthers not lost at home all season. The fortress of Stryda Park. McLaren sends it in. Anywhere will do.
Well, we're in injury time now.
We're going to get a change. Ivica Majetic is going to come on for Nick Pradashina. Did his bits earlier on, Pradashina.
We were talking earlier on, were we not, about how they haven't had to rely on other people scoring goals because that front three, front four have scored. And you mentioned the fact that Daniel Cole Bataldo hadn't scored this season, so he was due.
And didn't he tell us he was due? What a goal. One of the best we've seen all season. A goal worthy of winning a top-of-the-table clash, if it is to be the winning goal.
Disappointing from Monaro point of view. That puts them 8 points behind if it stays like this, and that's a mountain to climb. They're going to have to really hit the straps and hope that some of the other results go their way.
Here's Marko Jadric. Niki Subasic will eat up the ground. Look at the run from Majatic on this near side. Niki Subasic has a pop and it stings the palms of Heath Illich.
Dina Grinic will be peering his hair out saying, just take it to the corner.
He's done brilliantly to win it back somehow. On the ground, Jadric goes down. Elwood. Balac.
Really want to manage the game. It's theirs for the keeping if they can just get themselves organised.
For Kenny Manda. For so long, looked like he might be the match winner in the first half at least. But they've shown once again, Canberra Croatia, just what they're made of. Not a glittering performance by any means, but the character and determination to come off of the weekend and put this in and find a winner.
Yep.
If it is to be a winner.
But they've scored at the start of the game. They've scored at the start of the second half. And they've scored right at the death. This team just keeps finding.
40 national Premier League goals this season in 9 games.
This has been a test for them, and they've come through with flying colours at the moment.
They've now played Monaro 3 times this season and scored 10 goals against a side which is not bad defensively. They have taken it to corner now.
Yeah, managed the game.
Marko Guy just a bit strong. Elwood's been busy since he's come on. He's put himself about, the youngster.
They've just missed the influence that Kreska's had in the first half. It hasn't really happened for him in the second half. And I think the change that they made at half-time has sort of bottled Kreska's up.
I understand the yellow card for Robert Kachenko there as well. I understand they are going to add Sam Rusbach to this group as well, the Monaro Panthers.
Well, given the players they've lost, you can understand why they might do that.
Another midfielder of some repute.
What a great player. I mean, he's a player that can play right back. If they want to go to a back four, he can play in midfield. Got great engines, good vision, great acquisition. I mean, he's been at this club before. They know how good he can be.
We've signed a young player called Josh Young as well, played for Canberra Croatia 20s a couple of years ago, that he will bolster their under-23 ranks and knock on the door for first grade, no doubts. We are deep into stoppage time. Lamped forward by Fernando. Might be one final hoik of the football, and it will be enough for Canberra Croatia to win it. And what a way to win it. A goal of stunning quality from Daniel Cole-Bataldo. Steve Forshaw, a great game and a goal worthy of winning the 3 points.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, Daniel Cole-Bataldo doing Daniel Cole-Bataldo things. We haven't seen it for a while, but we certainly saw it tonight. This wasn't a game about superlative quality. This was a game about, can we grind out a result? Monaro absolutely desperate to stay in touch with Canberra Croatia at the top of the league. Canberra Croatia absolutely determined to not let them, and you saw that with them coming from behind twice to snatch the 3 points. And as you suggest quite rightly, it was a goal of some magnitude in terms of the competition and certainly in terms of the game tonight, but a high-quality strike that gave the Canberra Croatia team another 3 points.
Thanks very much, Steve Forshaw. As the clock ticked over to 90 minutes, I asked the question, can Canberra Croatia find a way? They often do find a way, and they did. Daniel Cole-Bataldo with a free kick for the ages to win it in the 90th minute. Earlier on, Panthers had led twice. Daniel Balac gave them the lead for Kenny Manda on debut, restoring it after Nick Pradeshina had levelled it. It became 2-2 with Daniel Sparrow's goal, but Daniel Cole-Bataldo won it very much in stoppage time. Steve Forshaw, your final thoughts?
Well, I'd just like to say farewell to Sam Brown. I mean, that's his last game, and he's gone away with 3 points. He's helped his team maintain their position at the top of the table. What a servant he's been for the club, so we wish him all the best in his future endeavours.
Absolutely, and it's finished at South Jerrabomber as well. Queanbeyan City 0, Tuggeranong United 0. But here, as Sam Brown bids farewell to Canberra Croatia colours, it's Daniel Cole-Bataldo who will take the plaudits with a screamer. The full-time score, Monaro Panthers 2, Canberra Croatia 3.